up?
What's up, guys?
Welcome to No Shame in the studio. We're not really in our studio. We're at a church office trying to put the finishing touches on our albums. There's the album cover right there. I'll show you a little bit more of that. But while we're in here, we thought, well, we'll kill two birds with one stone and give you a video to see. We've got our album playing in the background. We're just going to talk to you for a little bit about how we got started, kind of how we came to be, and what our goal is. So, Colin, tell a little bit about how we got started.
Well, me and Chandler here, we were both on high school football team, and we got to talking. Became pretty good friends, and we both had a love for Christ.
Of course, yeah.
And
well, I gotta warn you, he's Church of God. So yeah, I met this, by the way. We kind of converted him over. It's all right. So, yeah.
Our love for Jesus Christ, and oddly enough, rap brought us together.
So, we really didn't expect rap to bring us together because, I listened to rap a little bit, but I wasn't really a rap fanatic, kind of like my man Kyler here is. So, Kyler?
I've always been naturally gifted at talking fast, so I just kind of enjoy it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of we got started. Our album, we kind of went. This album has been a long time. It's been about a year since we've actually
started doing
this. Yeah, we did. Our first song was "Road Ahead." It's on the album. Last track. Kyler has a little bit of talking before that, but last track on the album, I think it really shows where we started from. Don't you think, Kyler?
Oh yeah, I believe so. Because we didn't have really any sound equipment until a friend of my grandmother and her husband, who have a little church down near Cartwright, which is a little community.
Yep, outside Dunlap.
And he donated $300 to us. Which,
and we weren't, he told us, he said we weren't, he said, I would like donate some money. And we were thinking,
like 20 bucks maybe.
And I
would have been happy with anything.
Yeah. We just started off, but he ended up giving us $300, and we were just, shocked and all.
We were tickled to death about that.
And so we decided, let's make use of it. Let's get us some recording equipment. And we did, and that's where the album came to be. Had a few songs, we had a few songs before that. We really just added some songs as we went. We actually started about 7, 8 songs, maybe 10 that we wanted at first. And we just kind of added songs onto that we had come up with.
And we ended up with 15. And a couple of them that aren't on this album. So,
yeah, we've got more coming out with a new album later, Devil Is Always Near.
Devil's Always Near.
So that'll be the next one to look for. Not out yet. We hadn't started recording on that one, of course.
Haven't really finished all the songs. It's more of work in progress.
But right now we finished all this, and LLC, Live Like Christ, is coming to you soon. So tell a little bit about 1033. What that means.
Our motto...
1 Corinthians 10:33.
It's 1 Corinthians 10:33.
Kind of like Lecrae, many of they have 1:16, all that.
Ours is 10:33 because it talks about how we do this not for the good of ourselves.
Not for the good of all people necessarily, but it will bring good to them because we focus on the Lord.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's where we get a lot of ours. We were just talking about trust there earlier today.
Yeah, in our youth group.
Yeah. So I guess that'd be a good way to start off the devotional kind of thing there.
Yeah.
We talked about trust, and trust is kind of like how do we describe it in there? It's like a bridge.
Yeah.
It can be burned, but it takes a long time to build it back. And that's actually the basis of we used one of the verses earlier from our song "Road Ahead."
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used one of the verses to learn about, and that's yeah, you are behind. It's Proverbs. Was it 3?
Proverbs 3 or 5. I can't remember what the exact verse, but I know it wasn't Proverbs. It was chapter 3, I believe.
It was a verse in Proverbs. We believe it was chapter 3. And it's talking about how if you trust in the Lord with all your heart, everything you have, He'll make all your paths straight as an arrow.
Straight as an arrow. And that's where we kind of got road ahead there. And, I just think it was recorded better than the rest of it. And we recorded it.
Turtle Beaches.
Yeah, we recorded on set of Turtle Beaches. And I thought it was really, really, actually just a little bit better than some of our other recordings, which we spent a lot of time on. And that was just kind of something we did with one or two takes, honestly.
Spur of the moment sort of thing.
So I mean that was pretty interesting there. But yeah. But we're from Dunlap, Tennessee, right in the heart of the Sequatchie Valley. And that's
if most of y'all don't know where that is, bigger known city closer to it is Chattanooga,
Tennessee. Yeah. And so we're kind of in that area. We're kind of trying to make our name there. And just kind of video to show you who we are. We're going to try to start doing this every week. I don't know if we'll get to every single week, but we're going to try to start doing this every week, a little devotional. But trust is a big thing. You got to have trust in a relationship, whether it be a relationship with the opposite sex, or it be a relationship with your parents, a relationship with friends.
Trust is one of the most important aspects of any relationship.
And most people they kind of like Kyler described it earlier. We're not trusting people right off the bat over Kyler.
I don't. In all honesty, we were talking about it. Our youth pastor, Sarai Pierce, was talking about how she most of the time will give people the benefit of the doubt automatically and automatically trust them. I myself, I probably should, but I usually don't do that. To me, it's something you must
earn. And I was kind of like Sarai too. I was kind of opposite of Kyler here, and we tend to be opposite sometimes. I guess that's what
different pasts. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. We weren't raised there. We were kind of raised in the same area, but two different kinds of styles of parenting, I guess, maybe. A little bit.
Mine were kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah, mine were kind of like that. They're a little bit more strict, But anyways, you gotta have trust, and I think that's a big thing you gotta have. I think the verse was, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding,
and always submit to Him,
and He alone will make your path straight. So that's a big thing, is trust, and that's a devotional for the day. Talk to you about trust, and if you want to know more about trust, just reading the Bible. We had that was Proverbs, I believe, 3 verse 5.
Verse 5.
Right off the top of my head, we don't know. We may put it on the video here later. Maybe scroll it down somewhere down here. But anyways, trust is a big thing, and especially with our youth group. And speaking of our youth group, that's actually the inspiration behind our about track number 8, drifting. Oh yeah, drifting.
Yeah, drifting.
Tell us about drifting real quick, Kyle.
Well, we got inspired for drifting. We were at a youth conference called Resurrection.
Resurrection of the Hudson conference back last year.
In 2013.
Yep, 2014.
2014. What are you talking about? 2014.
We think it's last year because it's just December of 14. We're thinking ahead too much.
And we were on our way to conference, right? To the session, and our youth minister's husband, Clint, decided that he was going to have a little fun driving the church van, decided to drift a little bit. And just spur of the moment, we came up with a little bit, kind of like a chorus.
Actually, it was inspired by one of the people in the van. They were just, playing around, and we actually took it.
We liked it quite a bit, actually.
We took it. And we found a beat for it. We did good with that, and it's just been everybody wants us to sing that every time we go somewhere.
It's become a big fan favorite.
Yeah. It's not a direct, and I don't think everything has to be a direct scriptural or taking it from context or, talking about our faith. Some of it has to be fun. You gotta have some fun with what you do.
You gotta have some fun with it, or you're gonna lose interest.
Yeah, and I think that was something, and it's like, I mean, what would you describe? Do we particularly describe ourselves as Christian rappers, or how would you describe us?
I would say we are Christian rappers just because of some of the songs we directly relate back to our Lord. But some of them, we just really...
It's more of just a positive message.
Exactly.
Having a little bit of fun, yeah. Like drifting, side hug is funny.
Side hug
is meant to be funny. I have part... Kyler doesn't have a part in that. He didn't want a part of it.
I told him it was his thing. He could do what he wanted to with it.
It's a song about... I'll tell you a little about... It's a song about, kind of not really making fun of how Christians are supposed... It's kind of poke fun of how Christians are supposed to...
Go about
relationships. And, I meant for it to be a little bit serious, because there are some parts in it, that need to be dealt with, some of the things I take. But, And
it was inspired by something very serious.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of a way for him to vent.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things with Christians, relationship wise. There are questions. Everybody has questions. Everybody wants to say, "Oh, this is the way," or "This is the way." I think that was kind of my way of saying, or kind of our way of saying, "Hey, look at this. This is what This is what is solid in the Christian world. Whatever you laugh at, maybe that's not. You shouldn't take it seriously, maybe, or maybe you should. If it hits you, that's kind of how it hits you. Depends on how it hits you." But as Kyler puts up the CDs out for dry, we're gluing them down, so that's why we're having to do that. But that's how that song was inspired, was Side Hug, and that was really just something that kind of on the spur of the moment. I got a beat and I kind of went with it, but that was something how it was inspired. But a lot of good songs on here. What would you say, besides the song we already mentioned, what would be your other favorite song on the album?
One of my favorites really is Honest, because, none of us are perfect, and the honest thing it's talking about, we mess up, and we're probably going to screw up again, but we're trying.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing you can do.
And, that kind of links back to another song, LLC. And there's drifting, if you can hear it down there. It may be quieter. We're playing it on the CD player. But anyways, it kind of back to our song LLC, we say in that song, you don't have to try.
No, you do have to try.
Or you have to try, sorry.
Nobody said you had to be perfect.
Nobody said you had to be perfect, but you got to try. You got to try to be a better person every day. You got to try to be a better Christian every day. And you have to try to, here's how I look at it. You got to challenge yourself sometimes. There's something you need to work on. There's probably always something that we all need to work on.
There's always room for improvement.
Always room for improvement. And sometimes you got to challenge yourself. This is kind of what I do sometimes, is challenge myself. If there's someone I don't, particularly fond of, or somebody that's kind of getting on my nerves, or, a situation that's getting on my nerves, challenge yourself to fight through that and become a better person for it, and learn how to have patience, learn how to do this, learn how to do that. And that's sometimes what you got to do with this. And so that's what LLC is about. You don't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect, and we understand that.
The only one that was perfect was Jesus.
Was Jesus. And, so
that's the name of the song. You got to try and live like Christ.
But, we're going to fail, we're going to drop down, but that does not mean that we quit. That just means we keep trying. We get back up. No matter how many times you've been down.
You got to stay persistent.
Yes, you got to do that. So that was the kind of inspiration behind LLC. And Honest. But and I want to give a big hand to Savannah Land.
Oh yeah.
Savannah Land did the vocals on four of our songs. We didn't want to. We just kind of wanted to get somebody to do it all.
Because we couldn't really. We're not very. There's a reason why we rap, and that's the fact that we cannot sing.
We can rap it all day. We just can't sing. I mean,
so,
really. We had to get her in there. We did 4 songs with her: "Struggles," "Lost It All," "Storms," and "Coming Home." Really, really good songs there, and Savannah helped us out a lot.
Really, really enjoyed her help. She's a fantastic singer. Was very professional about it too. It blew me away.
Yeah, we were in the studio with her, or we call it our studio. It's a mobile studio we have. We can take pretty much anywhere we need to, in a few boxes. But we let her sing, and she would just go through, and she would get our cue by listening to the song once or twice, or listening to that section once or twice, and she would have it down pat, and she just rocked it out of the park, honestly. And that was something great that we had. We didn't have to, explain that, okay, we got to do this, got to do this. She's very professional about it and recording songs and everything. So, very, very good. I want to thank Savannah for doing that. One of the songs she voiced, Storms. Storms a very, very, very good, very good song. A lot of people like it. It's more of a worshipy type song. And, you can have all the fun. You can get hard-hitting with everything you want to do. But, at the end of the day, it's all about worshiping God. You got to be pleasing to Him, and through that, we made Storms kind of had a softer spot to it.
Because you gotta have a soft spot where people can really sit down and think. We have some harder songs that'll get you thinking, but you gotta have the time to think.
And a lot went into actually putting these songs in and saying, hey, look, we got these songs in a certain order, because it's got to flow right. And I think it flows from being, having fun to hitting you where it counts. And then it goes to, worshiping Him, getting into Him, and figure out what you're going to do it. And then we end the album with 2 songs we call Rock Music and Road Ahead. Rock music just kind of gets you pumped up after the worship, gets you pumped up to go out there, do something about it. Excuse me.
And then Road Ahead gets you ready to, you just got done listening to this.
Yeah.
It's got you thinking.
Yeah.
Put it into action.
You're wanting to go out there and do something because you heard rock music. It inspires me every time I hear it. Go out there and do something. Then the Road Ahead reminds you, hey, you can go out and do this. And there's going to be some hardships, but you just got to keep going on, keep moving on, because the road ahead is going to be bumpy, but you got to get through the potholes. That's what you got to do. You got to have it's not going to be smooth. It's going to be a bumpy ride. And so that's where we got kind of the order of the album, honestly. But yeah, very. And Kyle, I just want to talk about the first part of the album, the first track, the intro.
The intro.
How it came about.
Okay. I just got out of school, right? He shoots me a text and that says, I sent you the intro to your email. Do me a favor, listen to it, tell me what you think. I was like, alright, we'll see how it goes. Well, my phone connects to my radio in my truck, so I start listening on my way home. And it starts playing. And I start really listening to what he's saying, and I'm just taken aback. I start crying. I had to pull over because I thought I was going to wreck. It was moving. So those of you that most of the time skip intros, you got to listen to it. It's...
And it was just kind of one of those things where, we may write this or we say we write it, but I believe in my whole heart that we don't write these. It comes by, spiritual intervention. God says, hey, all right, here are the lyrics. Here are the lyrics, write them down, and see what happens. And I usually just write down, and usually the reason that it doesn't take us long to do songs or write songs is because we usually do them in one sitting, because it gives them right there to us and says, hey, this is what you got.
And we'll have the entire song done
in one sitting.
Like that.
Yeah, well, we can have it done in 30 minutes, something like that. We've done that before.
And then we're kind of picky, so we revise quite a bit, but that's besides the point.
Well, he's not going to give it to us all at one time. We expect that. But I don't think we deserve to say that we wrote these songs. I think we deserve to say that we were given these songs, and we were just lucky enough to be in the room when God gave them to us. Really. So,
lucky enough to be the ones He chose to do it.
Yeah. So that's where our inspiration came from. We're from an upstart record label, Bearded Cross Records. Kind of just.
That's us, by the way.
That is by the way. We just kind of start Bearded Cross. That way, we have a label and we can have this, because we didn't know if other artists, there may be other rap artists out there that, don't have anywhere to go, and we can help them along the way. We don't know.
We got the recording equipment. Yeah. We're willing to help.
Yeah,
we'll help you out.
Yeah, definitely willing to help anybody out, really. But we have this record label, and our new album, Live Like Christ, like we said, it's out there. I do want to tell one more story before we go here.
All right.
I don't know if you remember Winter Jam 2014. I don't know if you remember that, or if you don't, but there you go. Winter Jam 2014, like we said, went to Resurrection back in January of 2014. But before that, we went there, kind of get pumped up for Resurrection. We went to this concert in Chattanooga. It was called Winter Jam. I don't know if you've heard of it. Basically what they do is they travel around this concert tour where all these artists, these Christian artists and positive artists come around, and they sing and they do a performance all together.
It's really awesome.
Really awesome. I remember this past year when we went and we did this, and we're going to tell you a story about this here in a minute, what we did outside. But we got to see somebody who inspires us a lot. And he's probably, the reason we thought, man, we could do this is Lecrae. So shout out to Lecrae for being there and kind of inspiring us, really. Honestly, anybody at Reach Records, of course, inspires us. But yeah, that was something that really inspired. That's something we were looking forward to. I've never been to really a live concert, but when I went to see Lecrae, it felt so energetic, so awesome. I had hairs standing up off my arm, all my body, completely through the performance. Just chill bumps all over and everything.
And we knew the songs and everything. We were pumped. We were singing along. It was great.
Yeah, and he had just released his album, Church Close 2. And we thought, oh, he's going to have the old stuff. He's not going to have this new album. But he came in, he did some songs, and we were just going right along to it. The album just released like 2 weeks before then, and we knew every lyric to every song by that point.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were listening to it all the time.
Non-stop.
Yes.
I still listen to it. It's still in my truck.
Yeah. So, yeah. But that's who we are. And by the way, I forgot to tell a story. We got off track.
We got off track.
But anyways, we're at Winter Jam 2014. We're ready to go in and play. We're waiting, you know, and we're waiting outside. And
Trying to think of ways to pass the time.
Yeah. And so we're sitting there, and I said, hey, Kyler, let's rap. Let's go out here and rap. And of course, Kyler's like, no.
For whom? Why? What are we doing?
And I told him, and he was like, I don't think so. And we finally, the group, as the youth group, convinced him to say, hey, all right, Kyler, look, let's go, let's do this. And he did it. And this church in Whitwell, just down the road from, we didn't even know, they saw, who we were, and we told them we were from Dunlap. They thought, oh, we're from Whitwell, which is...
So we automatically hit it off. They're right down the road.
Yeah, I mean, our mailing addresses are actually in Whitwell.
Yeah.
So, we have a deep, we don't, we kind of claim to be from there a little bit, kind of half and half. But anyway, we're talking to them. They never, heard of us. Of course, we just started. So we said, all right, we'll do it, and we just did our acapella versions of
some of the songs.
Of some of the songs we did. Road Ahead, of course.
Road Ahead, yeah. And
we did What We Knew of, Fly Away, because we had just written the songs, so we weren't good at them at that point. We did Fly Away. I think we did a little bit of Church Day.
We did some Church Day.
Just Church Day acapella, and they loved it. They really loved it, and that was one of the better stories that we've had while doing this. And of course, we had the story of going to Gatlinburg. When we were at Resurrection, we performed, on the streets of Gatlinburg.
We had a buddy of ours named Garrett Daughtry.
Shout out to him.
Hold up this little speaker that we had bought at Walmart.
Called Cans.
I still have that thing. I use that thing all the time.
It's a loud. It's size. It's smaller than the size of a Coke can.
And it's
loud. I mean, it is very loud. So we used it.
We used it. We got him to hold it. It would play the music, and we just sat there and did the songs right there on the streets.
And people, actually, we had our friend, and we actually got a video of that. Our friend Sam Dishman filmed it for us. And one thing about that is that
a lot of people stopped.
Yeah, a lot of people would stop and they'd listen. Of course, we didn't have any CDs, anything to give them. We just had a sign that had our Twitter handle, our Facebook page, and stuff like that.
And every day when we would wake up, we would check it, and it would notification.
Every second, every few minutes we'd get notifications. We'd be sitting in the conference and we'd get, throughout the day, we'd get more. We started off with like 5 followers from the church, something like that. We ended the weekend with over 300 followers.
Something else that was cool about that, a coffee house there in Gatlinburg started following us, We were like, we're walking around, we're chilling, let's find them.
Yeah, we went and found them, yeah.
We went and found them. And we were freezing, okay? It was cold. And they gave us free hot chocolate.
And they added us on Twitter, and we were like, okay, we'll go thank them. They gave us free coffee. Imagine that. That was one of the greater experiences. We had 4 songs at the time, I believe. We had Road Ahead, we had Church Day, LLC, and Fly Away. And when we were stopped there, and Sam taped us, we had a group there. And this is one of the funniest things that I remember us doing, is that Kyler wasn't into it as well when we first started. But once he got into it, Kyler was like, yeah, we're going, he got in the flow, we got going. We got excited to do it. And we got through our first song, and I was like, well, we got another song if y'all like. We'll go, but we got another song if you'd like an encore.
And our own youth group was dead silent.
They were dead silent. They were like, let's get over with this. And then another youth group that stopped on the side of the road, on the sidewalk over there, they were like, yeah, we want to hear another one. So we did another one for them before they went on their way down the sidewalk. So that was nice, and, shame on our youth group. Shame. They should have wanted to hear more. They hadn't heard this.
They should have supported us.
They should have supported us.
No, that's wrong of us to say. They support us quite a lot, actually.
They do. Speaking of supporting us, Clint Serapia supports us a lot. I want to thank them for being our youth group directors. They support us every step of the way we've done. Trying to get us out there. Anytime we had something in the community, they said, all right, they needed performers.
And we're automatically like, Kyler and Chandler, let's do this.
Yeah, and we're willing to do that. So, that's how we got started. That's kind of our story. That's kind of this album right here. And this has been in the studio with Chandler Morrison.
Kyler Hudson.
And we are No Shame. And I want to thank y'all for tuning in right here. I want to thank you for listening to us because we do get long-winded here. But this has been No Shame in the studio. Really, we're not in the studio. We're just
rock
in
the world on the biggest of stages. He is the rock.